Sure. So I started playing Dota about 4.5 years ago now, I think. And I actually originally started playing MOBAs with my friends in Heroes of the Storm when that came out. And then as that slowly went, descended into madness, I switched over to Dota and played with some people there. Um, I usually play unranked. I don't tend to playing ranked gives me anxiety, so I don't tend to do that too much. But I found that unranked has sort of started to bother me with the sheer variety of players, both in terms of playing with the memes and also I'll get games where I'm playing with legends on rare occasion, or on rare occasion I'll find myself with whatever, I don't know what's the bottom rank, Herald. I don't
Yeah.
even know what they're called. I had a guy the other day who was, I think, 700 MMR who was on my team, and I
Okay.
went, what is happening to me right now?
Oh.
Um, I don't have a rank. I'm guessing, just based on that variety, I'm somewhere in probably the high 2K range. That's
Okay.
my guess. I don't know for sure. And that's unfortunately also the curse of unranked, right? Because it's not ranked.
Hmm. So, what I guess what I want to tell you before we start the session is, if you're playing unranked, it's a totally different game from
Mhm.
a ranked game. Okay, because
Sure, sure.
whenever I myself play a ranked game, excuse me, unranked game, I tell you I mess around. Okay, like I think I'm not saying like I'm gonna be a troll and then make my team miserable, but what I'm saying is like I literally don't care. Like when I play ranked games,
Mhm.
I'll be like 100% focused, 100% prepared. Like treat that as if I'm a pro player because I enjoy the competition, right? Because
Mhm.
that's why I'm playing the ranked game. But if I'm playing on ranked, then I really don't care, right? I really don't care. Like I'm here to like, maybe a little bit experiment or try something new. So
Sure.
so I think that's what is unranked for. So
I agree.
yeah.
And I guess it also comes down to, one of my mindsets is that I'm always sort of in that mindset of, I don't know if I'm really ready to commit to that, being like, now I'm ready to think I'm good enough to do that,
Hmm,
which could just be a personal sort of mindset that I need to get out of.
hmm,
And like, you've got to just commit to it at some point. But it's like, I'm still in that mindset of like, I have 1,500 games, but I'm still learning and not at the point where I'm like, yeah, now I'm ready
hmm.
to really commit to it. I guess it's sort of, it could be a mindset thing too.
Yeah, and then you mentioned about anxiety about playing the ranked games, right? So, and I of course I get it, but hearing all that I just heard from like your perspective of the game, how you play. I think you are a competitive guy. Like you want to have competition. So I want to just advise you at some point, yeah, try out the ranked games. If you
Just
are,
jump in.
yeah, just jump in. I don't care. Like people flame you, it doesn't matter. Just mute every chat, like mute all chat, and just play the game. Like it doesn't matter. I really
Mhm.
think you're going to have a lot of fun. If you can get overcome that anxiety thing, right? And
Yeah.
everybody has that too. Right? I had the same feeling too when I first jumped in, but I got used to it, and then now I play ranked game all the time. So yeah, please play ranked games at some point. But yeah,
Mhm.
know that if we are playing unranked, expect that everybody is just relaxed and everybody is not trying to their 100% ability. That's my
Sure.
mindset when
100%.
I play unranked. So I hope
And I
you
agree.
could
It's
be
just
the
funny
same.
because
Yeah. Here's what I just always do, because I'm treating it as if I'm playing the game too. I'm a Slark. I'm a second carry. I think I have no idea what this position is. Drorander is mid. Io
Mhm.
looks like his position 4-5, Pudge position 4-5. Elder Titan, maybe offlane. So that'll be my guess. Just do that.
Mhm.
Zeus seems like he's mid. Rubik support. Chaos Knight carry. Okay, Chaos Knight
Chaos
support.
Knight. Chaos
Support.
Knight's off lane. Yeah,
Yeah,
Chaos Knight's off
support.
lane.
Tiny could be a support. Well, Void has to be a carry, so I think it's Void carry, Tiny support off, CK support off, Rubik support, and Zeus mid. That would be my guess.
You're
Yeah.
pretty much right.
So that this is what we always have to do, because if I have to ask you why am I doing this at the beginning of the
It,
game?
it's because you're looking for itemization based on if they're going to have X
Mm,
and Y in the lane, then what do you want to bring? What do you want to do?
good. And would you just try to justify why you got these items as a starting item?
Sure. So I was concerned about, with the, assuming it was CK Tiny. Didn't know if I was gonna. I had no idea what to expect out of the Pudge. And he did say at the beginning of the game it was first game of the day. He's just here to have fun, and that's fine. Um, the the reality is that I was looking at it going, okay, if CK and Tiny, I'm concerned about getting tossed or stunned and then having them hit me. So I brought the salve for regen if I want to fight. And then in terms of yeah, and then he grabs me, unfortunately. The tango's obviously just a regen in general. And then, last hit with Quelling Blade, and the boots or the slippers for getting that early Wraith Band and then going into phase ideally.
Yeah. So another, maybe this is a mindset question. So if this is happening, right? If your crypt wave is pushing in, what does that mean? If I have to ask you.
It, I mean, in this case, if I was the support, if the creep wave's pushing, I wish that Pudge, instead of sitting where he was pulling. But if he's not pulling, I've got to be pulling for myself.
Okay.
But the issue was that this was 22, and I would have had to have gone and left the wave really early. So it could be a side pull, which is something I just didn't do.
Very good.
And I should have.
Okay. Yeah, you did a good job. I would have thought of the same thing. But another thing, so not just for this particular game, but I feel like it's going to help you eventually. If whenever this is happening, the first wave you guys happen to push in, know that you guys have the level of advantage. Okay? Know that you're staying at level 2, right? And I am sure Pudge is either level 2 or close to level 2. So yeah, Pudge is level 2 too, right? So he has Mid Hook and Rod, and then you have Pounce and Essence Shift, right? And then without even checking, like I am pretty damn sure CK is still level 1 and Tiny is still level 1. I don't have to check it, right? I am pretty sure they're still level 1, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then this is actually a huge advantage if you think about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm hitting Tiny so hard because he's got 0 armor, so that's certainly the case. And I think we do hook Pounce soon, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that happens later.
Okay. So because I was just paying attention to your body language. Like you were sort of like moving backward. I get it that you wanted to pull or something. That came also the right answer. But then you're moving backward here, right? And then look at this. Like now they are temporarily, without any pressure, free farming, right? And then
Yeah.
all I'm saying is like I don't like this picture. Right? I just don't like it. You should be here. Right? Imagine you're here, like you're level 2 slug with Essence Shift and
Yep.
Pounce. You have more regeneration, you have more levels, and then you can deny everything and lost at everything, right? They just can't do
Sure.
anything. Yeah. So
Yeah. Aggression.
that's small difference, but I'll tell you right now, I'm like sitting at 6.5 km more. Only difference between you and I is I would have be sitting right here, like where CK is standing, and you're slightly mispositioned. But that's the only difference. I swear. So all these
I'm
small
sure.
things.
I'm sure there's plenty more later, but I get
No,
you mean.
no. Like I mean, the early game really matters. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
The early game really matters, and it's the only difference that I would have played. You played
Yeah.
perfect, actually. You really played perfect. Like you missed a last hit, but I mean that happens, right? And then you were thinking about pulling. I would have thought the same thing, but then another thing that is just in my mind, that is just in my autopilot is, if this happens, I know that I have the level of advantage, and I never do this. I never go back when I have the level of advantage, and also my support has a level of advantage. I would be probably mingling with them somewhere here so that we can be pounding someone and so that Pudge can get an angle of hook, all that things, right? So that's what's going through my mind if I was you. Going back to your player perspective, so you're wondering about a little bit and then you came back, but maybe you wasted about 5 seconds. So
Here's the hook into. Oh, that's right. I missed my. We trade to death here, but
you killed him. So just 1 second. Let me actually check this. What was it called? It's the movement thing. I forgot the name of it. Hotkey. I think I have it. Yeah, directional move. Yeah, there we go. Have you ever heard of this? The directional move?
the directional.
Yeah,
move.
right here. Directional.
I don't. Move in. Hold on. What does it say on the highlight? Move in a direction with pathfinding. I don't think I've ever used that, to be honest. No.
So yeah, whenever after this coaching session, there's already a lot of YouTube videos out there, so check it. But then let me just simplify this for you, because when you miss that pounce, I feel like this is something that almost every slot player just must learn. The directional move is just amazing. So what went wrong here is, if we slow down it to point times 0.5, so what happened is you clicked on Tiny, okay? You right-click Tiny and then you pounced. But then because of the path, you weren't really facing him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got stuck in the tree. So As you're right clicking tiny, you are going around it this to that angle that you're pouncing to, and then.
Hmm.
But if you use the directional move, I am 100% sure you pounce on tiny. If you use directional move, what's going to happen is instead of going around, even if you click tiny and then the tree is right in front of you, you don't go around the tree. You are stuck where you are, but then you face the direction you're right clicking. So that's the
Okay.
directional move. And if you did that, you'd be facing tiny when you're standing behind the tree and still right clicking him, right? So then you actually pounce him.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if I'm explaining this to you.
No, I totally get it. It's basically you turn in place as opposed to actually trying to pathfind your way there.
So my hotkey is this caps lock. So what I do
Sure.
is I press that in my keyboard and then right click. That way, even if I'm stuck with the tree that is right in front of me, I am facing tiny, and then I pounce.
Yeah.
Right?
That
So
that
yeah,
to me sounds like something I need to definitely have for Slarkin when I play Shadow Fiend on rare
yeah,
occasion, because Shadow Fiend is my bane where I'm like, yeah, I'm in the good angle, and then whop, totally wrong spot.
yeah. This option is actually built for Shadowfin. Every Shadowfin player uses the
Makes sense.
yeah
That
directional
that,
move.
that makes that's my number one complaint about that hero is I'm like, oh man, it's just so painful sometimes.
Right.
But that makes sense.
So if you master that without even making any adjustment, I guarantee you gain extra 500 MMR right away because
Wow.
yeah, tell you nobody in this bracket cares about it. I'll tell you right now, if you're like 2.5, 2.9, even 3K, 90% of the time they don't care about the direction move. They just don't do it. So if you start doing it now, you will just become a different player. So that'll be my advice. And there's actually a video that I uploaded in my YouTube channel
Hmm.
where it's a kind of stupid build, but I uploaded a video of a battle free slug. I do not almost never advise anyone to get a battle free, but that game in particular was I thought it could work. So I uploaded that
Hmm.
video. So I'm gonna send you the link later. So forget about battle free, but that was a video that where I mentioned about using the directional move as a slug. So you can check that out later. I'm gonna send you a link later. I think you can benefit from it. So I'm gonna send you the link. So
Yeah.
and then well, you guys killed him. Good job. I like
Yeah,
it that
he got hooked under tower.
I like it that your keep trying to pressure tiny. You have to go ham. Yeah, you win, and you know that. So you're doing it.
Yeah,
Whoa,
that I
whoa,
saw.
whoa! No, 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 no!
I was scared of CK, to be honest. That was my problem right
Okay.
there. I saw him TP back in. I went, I don't know if Chaos Bolt in a full health CK is something I want to fight.
Actually, you're right. But then, do you know why I was yelling at you, or not yelling? But do you know why I was frustrated? Because
Uh,
I
no.
did not know CK was coming. I did not know.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm being honest. I did not know. I should have paid attention to the minimap, and you guys even have a vision right there, right? But then
mhm.
I was looking at only this picture. I didn't care about CK. So what you should have done is actually I don't like this camera position. If right, this is your
Make it
yeah.
more down more.
It should be something like this, right? Then
Yeah.
without even checking the minimap, we just see that CK is coming, right? And then
Hmm.
I can make a conscious decision, which is a better decision, right? So that's why I was like, right, you should have gone ham. But then you're actually right. You're right here. You should be worried about CK because if it stuns you, then you don't have the dark pack yet. You could die, right? So,
Yeah.
and another small thing, okay. I was looking at this game for your perspective the whole time, and I didn't see you doing this, which is click tiny. I never saw you doing this.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
why do I?
it's something I'm bad about is checking. I mean, I check items at the start of the game to make sure. Oh, this guy's got like he went something stupid like boots and and three tangos no salve, and then it's like okay, let's hit this guy a lot. But I am bad about it because I'm so focused on like especially as a core last hitting that I don't tend to check people's items as much as I should, and I know it. It's something I'm bad about.
Okay. So here's and you're not alone. Okay, a lot of people. So I think until you reach somewhere 5K MMR, people just don't do this as often. Right? From my experience of coaching people, 2K players they never do it, never, almost never. 3K players they will sometimes do it. 4K players they do it but not enough. And if you are somewhere after 5K MMR, they start doing things because they now understand how
Mhm.
it matters. So if
Yeah,
your enemy team is doing it and you're not doing it, the enemy team is going to win. That's like simple
sure.
logic of Dota. So start doing it. I'm not saying like you should like be crazy and clicking everyone. You're not. We can't do that, right? But
Yeah.
just have it in your habit. So whenever you're watching the replay, here's what I want you to do. What I think you could do by yourself. You're gonna watch replay by yourself from the from here, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I do watch my replays, but not. Sometimes it's hard to know how to think critically on beyond like I just missed last hits or like oh I should have known that this person was coming. I could have rotated this time. Sometimes it's hard to know, like, again, once you understand the game at a higher level, it's sort of like, oh, this was something I didn't do right. But sometimes, you don't know what you don't know.
Yep. So just about we were talking about checking itemization, right? So
Sure, yeah.
here's what I'm gonna do. I'll think about the timing, the exact timing, like when I am allowed to click on tiny, like actually click, like we're talking about the mechanical stuff, because you're right. Everyone's too busy up with the law setting and deny. We just can't do it. But I would just imagine myself doing it. So this is like image trading. As soon as I click the melee crate, which is about to die here, I'm gonna take it. Then I think you would have enough time to click tiny. Just click him like right now. Because if you click him, then because now CK is coming, you're going to have to just move slowly back to eat some tango or pop your healing salve or whatever, right? You're going to have to move back. And as you're moving back, that is where I have enough time and my mechanical skills allows me to, I'm good enough to just click on tiny, right? So now I just figured out the timing where I can just click on the enemy hero to check their items. I can just do it.
Sure.
I can just see it happening. You take this last hit here, and then you move backward a little bit to hit to pop your healing salve because you want to, and then as you're moving back, that is where I move my screen to here and click on tiny and see his itemization. And the next level would be, try to take a guess, right? Try to take a guess, like what is next item gonna be, and what is his little power spike, and whether we can kill him if Pudge is here. So all the small things, like everything should be going through your mind, but the first step would be knowing the information, right? This is very, very important. I dare you. This is so important. Because
totally agree.
If you're not doing this, like how do I even make any decision? I just can't. I don't have any information. I make my decision based on the information, and the information is their hero levels, their mana, their HP, their itemization, right? And try to take a guess, the measure of them, like how strong they are, how strong they will be in certain minutes. So all that should be going through my mind. It's just going to make you a better autopilot player. So that's what I always tell to my students. So I think
that totally makes sense.
If you apply that, you're going to become a much better player. That's all I'm saying. So let's keep watching. I know we talked a lot, but I've seen more students just getting better after the coaching session if I spend this much time in the early game, because my job is to change your habit, right? I am paying attention to your habits, not like I'm at the same time as I'm looking at the game. It's easier for me to just like say, oh dude, that was a mistake, you shouldn't do that. But I guess my coaching style is I just pay attention to your habit, and I'll try to understand like your sort of like body language as a player. So that's what I'm doing. So let's see what you do here. A lot of waves here. Nice job. It's gonna die if CK is not here. Okay, good job. Nice. So that was a thank you gift from Tiny. You're gonna buy your brown boots. So yeah, it's about time. At minute 3, this is about time. Your first itemization after a value wraith band was the brown boots. So what was going through your mind? How would you want to itemize yourself here?
I usually my standard thing to like just go on Slark because of the essence shift is just go phase into Echo Saber.
Okay.
And with the Zeus, after that, it would just be to go into a Shadow Blade, and then obviously now that they build into a Silver Edge, that's just sort of naturally where it goes. It's not super great because there's not anybody with a passive ability that's really solid that I want to get rid of, like if no PA or anything. But yeah, I mean that's just sort of, and I don't.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, it's been a while that I'm seeing a Slark player getting a phase boost. It's 100% viable, but yeah, it's been a while.
Is Treads the sort of play now?
I feel like Treads is just like autopilot from everyone. They just get it every game, right? Because it's a Slark. I benefit from having the attack speed.
Yeah, the attack speed, everything.
Yeah, and then I also benefit from the swapping Treads, right? If I'm casting my Dark Pact, which I would be doing it a lot throughout the game, right? Farming, pushing. When I'm doing that, so I want it to be intelligence, right? And then when I'm getting attacked by something, I swap it to strength so that I don't die. So I feel like that's just standard Slark build for everyone universally. But phase also makes sense. But if it is your playstyle, I can respect it. This is also what I tell my two students all the time. If it's phase with, do it. Get it. And then prove it to me it works for you by winning the game, right?
Yeah,
So you tell
sure.
me how it works, right? But
In this one, it did not.
what did you say? I'm sorry.
I was saying in this one, unfortunately, it did not. I did not win this game with my base boots.
So in for this particular game, if I have to say it again, we have to be a little bit crazy about when you're assessing like itemization. So it's always a hard call
No, of
to
course, absolutely.
to
And
you
I'm
know
saying, yeah,
yeah, to tell whether we get a power charge or Facebook. We have to be a little bit crazy. But for this game, I feel like it's kind of evident because a lot of them have a magical damage, right? Almost everyone is magical damage. Like in the early game, Zeus magical, Warping magical, CK physical short, but he also has a magical, Tiny just magical. Void his passive, his bash is magical, so they rely a lot on magical damage, right? And if I get a face boots because the bottom component is a chainmail, which gives me plus 4 ammo, it's good against physical, right? But then it doesn't do anything against magical damage.
yeah, and that's
So
true.
yeah, if I get a power tres, then I get more health, so I become slightly better dealing with the magical damage. So that's also me being a little bit more crazy. But this is what we do. If we can benefit from the ammo and benefit from the the active of face boots, you should get it, right? Maybe I cannot really think of a specific reason why you need a face boot this game, but if you doubt about something, then tell me, right? Because then you
No,
should do it.
I mean it makes sense once you say it that way. And it's one of those things where like I also don't play Slark a ton, so it's one of those things where it seemed like it might have been given that I saw that I think they picked Rubik, CK, and Zeus, and as when I was picking, I think I picked Slark in second phase. I think our mid Drow picked last. So yeah, it was a maybe not, maybe something I just sort of autopiloted on, and that's not always great.
Okay. Well, so again, mindset thing. As a carry player, if you want to keep playing carry, pay attention to these, small things because it can easily be lane losing, game losing thing. It really can be. So I'm not like trying to bash you or anything, but
No,
yeah,
I totally understand where you're coming from. That's just
mindset. That's important thing, right? Mindset.
Yeah.
If I lose this game, like if I were you, I'm gonna blame myself, telling myself that my Facebook didn't do anything. It was a little bit of game losing mistake. That was my mindset. So, I think it's important to have that. So, yeah, as I'm jungling like this, imagine I had a extra 20 attack speed by having the glove haste. I think you just jungle slightly faster, and I just benefit from it, right? I don't need ammo. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's all I'm saying. So I'm gonna skip here a little bit because the laning stage is somewhat over.
Yeah, it's basic over, yeah.
And then it's gonna be just you trying to push the lane and then go back to jungle a little bit. So you mentioned about getting. So I'm gonna let this play through because we're gonna spend a lot of time talking about itemization and how you play. You mentioned about the Echo Saber and then getting it to Silver Edge maybe, right? So yeah, walk me through about your doubts because every time you're playing Dota, we should be asking ourselves, how do I win, right? How do I win?
Yeah.
So
So I do watch some YouTube sort of theory. I'll watch Purge when he's playing and he talks about stuff. I'll watch some VSJ videos as well. And I guess that sort of mindset of you want to get the item that the first item is the item that helps you sort of kill or take over, threaten people out of lane against you. The second item is often like defensive, and then your third item is how you want to sort of win the game. And everything else after that is luxury.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah,
And unfortunately, in this one, the answer was I didn't. They last picked Void into me, and I actually considered when I played Void against the Slark, I considered Void a really hard counter to Slark because he can't get away, he can't be slippery inside the chrono. So I was a little concerned about it. I'm not sure why he used the the smoke there, but yeah.
okay. So
Yep.
basically, when the laning stage is almost over, right, which is right now, we don't really do anything other than just autopilot to farm, right? Just to right
Sure,
click
of
what's in
course.
front of us and move from point A to point B, and of course that can be very stressful. But at the same time, I feel like this is the perfect time for us to think about like the itemization from here to the end of
Yeah.
the game. Like, so basically, I would be asking myself, how do I win, and be crazy about it, right? If I get a Shadow Blade right away from here, then would I make any use of it, or Again, let's be more crazy. If I get a Midas, then what happens? If I get Echo Saber, like you mentioned, what does Echo Saber do, right? Try to ask those questions and be specific about it. If I get an Echo Saber,
Hmm.
then what happens? Like we have to be really specific. How do I win? How do I win team fights? Do I farm faster? Like when do I power spike, right?
Yeah.
So like that
Yeah.
question should be, what should be going through my mind, to be honest. And,
Sure. And in this game, I think the my rationale for going for Echo Saber and Shadowblade is that I want to be able to, given that they have a Zeus, and the Drow has, I think, at this point died 4 or 5 times.
hmm.
Um, it's just, and I that was my mess up there. I just totally screwed up. I wanted to go mid, and
Oh,
I
it's
think
okay.
I
Yeah, that
yeah I
happens to me
clicked
too.
and went to base. So free regen. Um, but yeah, my mindset was like, well, someone's got to be able to kill Zeus, and it's certainly not. Yeah, unless Pudge gets a great hook, it's gonna have to be me.
Hmm. Okay. So here's the thing about. Let's talk about this TP. So we screwed up, okay? But that's fine. But let's say you actually TP to the middle, right? And if you actually TP to the mid, then I would be actually calling it a bit questionable because
Okay.
everything starts from, again. Everything starts from asking the question, the big question: how do I win, right?
Hmm.
And then that is actually a very hard question to answer, right? So
Sure, of course.
let me be crazy here. I'll try to imagine myself if I was playing Slark, okay? And then I actually have to go back. I have to go back way before you got face boots. So that's where I would start thinking about how do I win. This is how crazy I am. How crazy you should be, to be honest, too. Uh, so you got brown boots here, right? So let's say you didn't get the chainmail. You just, whenever you get brown boots, just get it right away, right? So
Hmm.
let's imagine you got brown boots here. If we got brown boots here, then because now it's just about a channel, we're sitting at wristband plus brown boots plus about 700 gold, maybe 800, close to
Hmm.
800 because chainmail is 550. If I have brown boots, wristband, quantum blade, and 800 gold at minute 5, I would estimate that this is a game that I am able to get Midas in a really
Hmm.
good time, in a really really decent time, right? If I have an 800 gold about this time with a brown boots, then I'm level 5 Slark, right?
Yeah.
I am pretty certain I can get Midas. And if I get a Midas, this is how I would design the game. Um, I really don't think this game will end early. Okay? I just don't think this, I really think this game will go late. That'll be my first prediction. Whatever happens, okay? Whatever happens, I think this game goes to the late game.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
that's
only tower.
you're certainly correct. And I mean,
Hmm.
in most of the games in this bracket, they go late because no one knows how to finish the game
Yeah,
anyway.
that's one of the reasons actually. That's also what I also always tell my students. We have to play different given your MMR bracket. But if this is like 2.5, 2.9K bracket, that is still also where almost more than 70%, more than 80% of the game will go beyond minute 40, minute 50. Almost every game goes to late game. So we have to be secured. We want to be secured about the late game, and Midas does that,
Hmm.
right? If I get a Midas, then you
Sure.
know what? I get levels. I get free farm. I can get 6 slotted by minute 40, minute 50.
Yeah.
So this is what I do. Midas is just almost always good. If you can get it in decent timing, like minute 8, minute 9, just get it. It just benefits you. And another reason would be because our team has no tower hitter other than the draw ranger, right? Like IO is not a tower hitter. Puch can't do anything against the building. ET not really. You can't do anything only, right? So it's only the draw ranger,
Hmm.
and you guys don't even have any range carry, so or range core. So it's just draw ranger. If we look at the enemy team, they are also not a tower hitter. If we think about it, Zeus can't hit tower, right? He's mid. He can't. Rubik support. He can't. CK maybe he can with the ultimate, but Tiny I'm not sure. Void no, they are not tower hitter. They cannot siege. They cannot go high ground and finish the game right away. So I would judge that this game goes late. It's pretty fair to say it, and
Hmm.
because of that, I think Midas is justified. If I get a Midas, then I will pay attention to the pace of the game from then. I'll get Midas at minute 9, right? So this is where instead of you just sitting at Facebooks, which is like here, this was about where you were about to TP to mid, or was it before? This is where, yeah. At minute 10:35, you have Facebooks and Wraithband, right? And then you are buying some bottom components of the Echo Saber and you're about to deliver it from Kodio. So I don't know what you have, but I am pretty certain that this time you have Midas, and you have used it at least once or maybe twice. And if you did it, you'd be sitting at like level 10. So you're snowballing. And the reason Midas is so good is you don't really have to kill anyone if you have a Midas. You just feel so relaxed. Man, I have a Midas, right? As long as I'm not
Hmm.
dying, as long as I'm like just flash farming, like pushing the lane, going back to jungle, and just join the crucial team fight where I feel like something is definitely going to happen, I am just happy. Like I get Midas, right? I have Midas, and from that point, as I'm farming, I'm just gonna be doing this. Click tiny. Why am I clicking click tiny? I want to see if he has a blink dagger or not, right? And I'll be
Sure.
like clicking on like Rubik. Excuse me. I also want to see like if he's getting a force staff over Glimmer Cave. If he gets a Glimmer Cave, then to solo kill him, I would have a Shadow Blade plus dust. Like so, that's
Yeah, of
just
course.
like designing myself. Click
Hmm.
on Void. Like I want to see his Itemization too. If he has a Mask of Madness, that means he can actually kill me with one Chronosphere in this early game, right? He actually
Yep.
can kill me with this, so I should be careful about the Chrono, right? All that small information matters. If I actually click on
Hmm.
Chaos Knight, I want to see whether he has a Bracer, whether he has a Word of Athos, whether he's being crazy or not. And at the same time, I also want to click on my allies. I want to see what this guy has. I want to see how big Draw Ranger is. I want to see how big Pudge is, whether he has a Spirit Vassal, Sprinkler, whatever. Like, pay attention to all that, and by doing that, I am now paying attention to the pace of the game, right? And
Hmm.
because I have a Midas, I now can make a conscious decision. I can go Shadow Blade right away. If I go Shadow Blade, then it's a map pressure, right? If I have a Shadow Blade and it disappear from the map, and if somebody is here, and let's say it's a Rubik, right? And like you said, he got a Glimmer Cape. He doesn't have a Force Staff. Then as long as we're carrying Dust, we can solo kill him. If I have a Power Dress plus Shadow Blade, as long as I'm out leveling him, he's like level 8. I'm like level 12 with a Shadow Blade Midas. He's gonna die if he's solo here, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if he dies here, then that means that he's gonna have to buy a sentry, and that's an economical damage to him, right? And if I see that he has a shot, if I saw him buying a sentry here, then I just don't go there, right? So by getting a Shadow
Hmm.
Blade, I'm threatening a kill. Also, I'm changing his game plan. He can't be here. He has to be with his team. If he's with your team, then they are not farming well. They're just stuck together. They're not being efficient. So that
Hmm.
changes the game. So those are the things that I know it sounds crazy, but we pay attention to.
No, that
Yeah,
makes perfect
and
sense. Yeah, I
maybe like
mean,
2K, 3K players, they do care, but they don't be this crazy about imagine being about talking about this imagination. They just don't
no,
do this. So
no, it
yeah,
does make sense. Yeah.
so if I am only able to say these crazy stuff only after I click on Tiny, right? Only after I click on Tiny, and because I want to check a blink time, like I want to check on him, like click their items, click their levels. So
Hmm.
so important because if I don't do that, if I didn't do that, and you ask me how would you design the game, I cannot answer because I don't know. I don't have any
Hmm.
information, right?
Sure.
So that's actually everything that I have to say here. Then my early game is done. Like I can decide whether to get a Shadow Blade, whether to get a Blink Dagger, or like you said, even Echo Saber makes sense. If I have Echo Saber plus Midas, then of course I cannot invade into the enemy jungle because I only have Echo Saber. But you know, I have an Echo Saber, I have a mana regeneration, I can benefit from it because I can cast more Dark Pact. And if the team fight happens, I have a Midas and Echo Saber. I'm actually hitting pretty fast. I'm actually hitting pretty hard, right? And if
Hmm.
I have a Power Threats plus Echo Saber, that's a lot of strength, right? Saber has a bottom component Ogre Axe, so I have like 20 strength, and then my level 10 talent is actually plus 9 strength. So combine that, right? All that, then you have like what, over 30 strength at level 12. So that means I'm enabling myself to survive from this guy's Chronosphere, right? If I have that much strength, so that's also another how to be crazy.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So I will do that, seeing that he has a Mask of Madness. Like, if he has Madness, then I'll be imagining myself. I will have to do that. Power threats and Echo Saber makes sense. Then I don't die,
Sure.
right? So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. Um, and actually that's it. That's everything I have to say. I have to keep watching to talk about whether I was right or I was wrong. But that's what would be going through my mind at this stage of the game at minute 10. Okay, I talked a lot, man. Any comments or any doubts about it?
Um, no, I mean that all does make sense, and it's sort of that it's that mindset of like I've got
Hmm.
to, I have a habit. I think it's probably a common thing with a lot of people in the lower to mid level MMR because this is actually a shocking just because the sheer bell curve. This is
Hmm.
technically the middle of the MMR curve, right? So I
Hmm.
think it's just an average player's mindset is that they're they're kind of on autopilot. They
Hmm.
do what their muscle memory has kind of set them up to do.
Hmm.
And I think that's a weakness of mine, is that I kind of go, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what, a guide or a build says to do. And sometimes I think critically and I go like, this is what I have to buy next. And sometimes I just click the thing that I'm like, yeah, this is, I guess, what you have to build.
Hmm.
And it's something I'm working on,
Okay.
definitely, because I'm focusing on trying to play. I just updated my custom hero pool thing that you can
Okay.
do. And I said, okay, I have a bad habit. I had the same thing I did when I played Heroes of the Storm, um, where I have a little bit of like I get bored playing the same hero over and over again. And I know that's a key part of getting better, is to play heroes to the point where you feel good on them and you know what you're doing all the time. So I actually switched up my thing to say, okay, I'm going to try to only play heroes on my list of like, this is who I play, right? Um, and so that's one of my steps.
Okay.
And it's definitely, that's why I've been playing so many. When I get core right now, when I get carry, and I play a lot of anti mage, because he's one of the people I want to get better at.
Hmm.
But he's banned like 2/3 of all my games right now.
Oh.
So I don't know why, but he's been getting banned a lot. So and it's just one of those things where, like, that's why I've been focusing on, like, all right, if I'm gonna play core, I'm gonna try to play safe lane, and if I'm gonna play support, I'm gonna try to play five, and just focus on like those kind of roles, and sticking to, focusing on specific things, because I think that's a weakness of mine, is that I get bored, and then if you're trying to play everything, you're not getting good at one thing, right?
Yeah. I 100% agree. If you so if you talking about myself, right? I'm a support player. Okay. I got to
Hmm.
the higher MMR bracket by just playing support only. I only play push on 5. Like that's my main position. I sometimes play push on 4, but I know that I'm limited in myself there. But if you ask me to play push on 5, then I can play everything. I'm really confident. So that's what I think everyone should be. Everyone's mindset should be. Don't play too many different roles. Don't play too many different heroes. Just focus on one role, and focus on maybe like 3 to 5 heroes at most. That's just
Yeah,
the way to get better at Dota.